Hi, my name is Nikki Morgan and I'm presenting teenagers and social media / TikTok Reels. So to start off with teenagers and TikTok Reels, I wanted to show a video just explaining more about it and the process of TikTok.
A closer look at our phones, specifically TikTok. Dr. Cheryl Ziegler joining us now. She is our 9 News mental health expert. We love talking to you on Mondays. Dr. Ziegler, let's break it down. What is TikTok brain?
So TikTok brain is something that we know has been going on for years, but finally we have the research to support it. And what that means is that the brains, particularly the developing brain of young children and teens, is starting to get quite used to these short form videos, to the point where what the actual brain science behind it is that we see dopamine, which is your feel-good hormone. It is what is involved in addiction. It's what's involved in the reward circuitry of your brain. We see that it gets spiked up. So when they're looking through and they're scrolling through these real quick videos, that's what's happening. They're getting these dopamine hits that feel good, just the way it does when people sometimes use drugs or they use alcohol or they become addicted to other things. And so that's now kind of the frightening data to support what we've wondered all along, which is, yes, in fact, there is an actual neurological reason why looking at those kinds of videos is just so addicting.
It's so addicting, and then I just saw on the screen some of the things, the negative things that come with this as well. But you're right. I mean, most people know a teen or preteen that literally can just sit there for hours. So what happens when you're just scrolling and scrolling and you just can't stop?
Yeah, so what happens is we're starting to see an increase in ADHD. You're less likely to be able to focus, have longer periods of attention and concentration. Reading seems boring. Even watching a movie, they say, is starting to seem boring to kids because it's just too long. They don't have the attention span for it.
So right here I have some pictures just showing statistics of social media and TikTok use. For instance, this one right here says that over 69% of people are depressed once they've gone on social media for the day. Or this is the steady growth of TikTok use over the last 10 years. As you can see, the rates have gone up considerably, as has the depression. For this part of the presentation, I focused on the physical development and its relationship to social media and TikTok. Physical development is the process during adolescence which involves changing the brain and body that impact behavior and social interactions. There's a lot of things that TikTok does to promote changes in physical development, not necessarily for better or worse, but both are included. In adolescence, the timing of physical growth can have a really big impact on how one feels about themselves or their self-esteem. And there's been studies revealed that social media reels have been known to cause stress with popularity, which in turn affects one's self-esteem. The consistent use of swiping through TikTok reels and being on social media can have a negative impact on young people's physical health, and it can also cause depression and increase rates of suicide. Finally, social media access to constant videos playing has a role in promoting unhealthy habits at a key age of development. Right here I go more in depth on the TikTok Reels specifically, where I say TikTok or Instagram Reels have a huge impact. Their addictive nature supports many of the above mentioned points. Rather than going out and engaging in outdoor physical activities, you're instead staying in on your phone. Also, with another finger at your fingertips every time, as with how Reels work, it's hard to walk away from the screen, but participating in this action will actually not induce brain activity or development compared to many other things, like physical activity. These reels can be an outlet for adolescents who don't want to get out physically or aren't ready to deal with the issues that they're going on with during puberty, but rather than not deal with that situation, it is better to handle it up front at this point in time when you're approaching adolescence. Therefore, you can create habits that'll be better used in the rest of your life. The next part of the presentation has to do with cognitive development. Cognitive development is the maturing adolescent developing the capacity to think methodically about logical connections with a problem during the ages of 12 to 18. Over time, the shift from unstructured logical operations to formalized concrete thinking, this takes place and it's known as cognitive development. According to the theory of narcissism by Jean Twenge and Keith Campbell, social media use among young people has been known to increase narcissistic traits. Another famous psychologist, Jean Piaget, we include her formal operational theory and specifically focus on adolescence egocentrism. Young people in this stage are too self-absorbed and unable to distinguish between their perception and those of others, a clear issue tied to social media. According to the sociocultural development theory of Vygotsky, social interaction and learning from others are crucial components of cognitive growth. So here we have both good and bad, which has to do with social media and TikTok reels. As you can tell, here we're focusing on cognitive development and TikTok reels again. TikTok reels, in comparison to other social medias, produce the most damage to the cognitive development out of the 3 developmental processes. A quote taken from the article "TikTok is Killing" claims short-term memory and the ability to concentrate are also affected. Devoted TikTokers report that they're unable to focus on longer video formats anymore, let alone reading a book or doing homework. Clearly, this is an issue because kids this age need to develop the skill set and wherewithal to commit to doing their homework, and also they need to have the attention span to do so. Without that, they will not be set up for success in the later future. The term TikTok brain has also been circulating, as seen in the video. This represents the shortened attention span and lack of brain activity. Finally, TikTok reels are known to be stimulating for the brain, almost like a rush of dopamine. The socio-emotional development process. The socio-emotional development process during adolescence involves changes in emotion, social engagements, and self-identity. Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development suggests that social media allows adolescents to explore their social roles and develop a sense of self. Another good point that has to do with socio-emotional development is that social media use and TikTok reels can have detrimental socio-emotional effects like cyberbullying and social comparisons. These are really detrimental during this phase of adolescence because you're at a crisis of self-identity and learning to engage in social relations. If this is what you're exposed to, you will not be prepared to deal with these social relationships later in life. Young people can use social media to establish and maintain relations with others, explore their feelings, and explore many facets of their identity. So while there's negative effects, you also have to contemplate the social-emotional benefits, like exploring your self-identity and learning to express feelings. On this slide of socio-emotional development and TikTok reels, we looked into how teenagers oftentimes want to be part of social cliques. This makes it so that they want to get into something popular, such as TikTok reels, so that they can fit in with other people or help find their self-identity as they've been looking for during this period of time. Another key point is that more and more adolescents are developing clothing styles and slang out of TikTok, so to feel included, just like in those social cliques, they need to be participating in the app. These reels can inflict damage emotionally through cyberbullying This is often done through the likes and dislikes of the reels. As I've been mentioning throughout the presentation, there are always going to be positive and negative effects when it comes to these issues. Clearly, there are positive effects, like the one Vygotsky claimed, with social interaction and learning from others. On the other hand, you need to look at the negative. Things like looking for popularity through an app or an increased rate of depression can't be overlooked. And because of that, I believe that it is overall more negative to use TikTok Reels and implement them in our society as they have been, because they are taking over and leading to depressed kids, addictive natures, and increased narcissism with the lack of physical exercise.